Hey everybody, welcome to another deep dive, and this time we're getting into some really cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
We are going to be talking about Advanced Git and GitHub. This is like specifically tailored for all of you DevOps pros out there.
Right.
Or aspiring ones.
Aspiring, yeah.
But we are going way beyond the basics, right? We're not going to be talking about like what is Git and how to do a simple commit.
Exactly. We're talking about branching strategies and automation.
We're going to talk about things like how to tame those like dreaded merge conflicts that we all...
Everybody's got them.
They happen.
Yeah, exactly. And there's even a Git feature you might not even know exists.
Oh, there are a few.
That you're going to want to use like every day after this.
Every day.
So
it's funny. A lot of folks think that Git mastery is just like a nice to have, right?
Or DevOps. But in reality, it's how you unlock true speed and collaboration.
Yeah.
In your workflow.
So, okay.
Okay.
So let's unpack that a little bit for our listener. Like, what is it about advanced Git skills that makes it so essential in like the fast-paced world of DevOps?
Think about it this way, right? Like you push a code change, and boom, it's automatically tested, built, and deployed, and it's smooth, Like that's the kind of streamlined workflow, right? That separates the amateurs from the pros. Right? And that's where these advanced Git techniques come in.
So we're not just talking about version control.
No.
But like
it's
development and deployment all working in sync.
Speed, collaboration, automation, all those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get down to brass tacks here.
Yeah.
First up. Branching strategies.
Okay.
Now, I know this might sound a little dry, but trust me, this is the bedrock of any successful collaborative coding project.
It's like choosing the right blueprint. For your project. And so two popular approaches that you'll see out there are Git Flow and GitHub Flow.
Okay.
And they each have their own strengths and weaknesses.
So, so if Git Flow is like the meticulously organized library with every book in its Dewey Decimal Place.
Sure.
What's GitHub Flow like?
GitHub Flow is like a bustling marketplace.
Okay.
Fast-paced, dynamic, full of energy.
Got it.
So with Git Flow, you have these long-lived branches, like main, develop, feature, release, and even hotfix.
Okay.
Right? And it's really perfect for projects with structured release cycles, maybe large teams that need that extra level of control.
But with the speed that DevOps demands, wouldn't that get a bit cumbersome?
That's where GitHub Flow shines.
Okay.
It's all about simplicity, speed, single main branch, short-lived feature branches that are merged back in quickly, ideal for continuous delivery and agile environments where things move fast.
All right. So walk our listener through, like, how would someone actually implement GitHub Flow?
So it's all about creating a new branch for every feature or bug fix you're working on. Make your changes, commit them to that branch, push it to GitHub, and then you open up what's called a pull request or a PR.
All right. So that PR step, that's more than just
it's huge
in code, right? It's like a quality control.
Like the built-in quality control, before anything goes live.
Exactly. To make sure everyone's on the same page.
Right.
Catches potential issues early on. Helps you avoid nasty surprises down the road.
Okay. So speaking of potential issues, this brings us to a topic that tends to spark some
this is a fun one.
Passionate debates.
A lot of debate on this
among developers. Rebasing versus merging.
The eternal dilemma.
Yes. Eternal cat dilemma. So for our listener, can you break down the essence of each approach and like when you might choose one over the other? Okay. So imagine you're working on a historical document.
Okay.
Right. Merging is like meticulously preserving every edit, every change, creating this detailed timeline of how the document evolved.
Got it.
Rebasing, on the other hand, is more like producing a clean final draft. Streamlining the history, presenting this polished version, without all the messy edits along the way.
So merging is for the history buffs who want to see every twist and turn, and rebasing is for those who prefer like a clean linear narrative.
Yeah.
But isn't there a risk
there is
of losing valuable context with rebasing?
That's a great point. And that's why, the choice between merging and rebasing really depends on the context.
Okay.
Merging's generally safer.
Okay.
Especially when collaborating on a shared branch. Right. You don't want to rewrite history that others are relying on.
It's like editing a shared document.
Yeah.
Merging is like using track changes.
Yeah, exactly.
So everyone can see the evolution.
Yeah.
Whereas rebasing is more like hitting accept all changes without and consulting your collaborator.
Without any, exactly.
Okay, so there's a time and a place.
There is,
for both.
Uh-huh.
But what's like the cardinal sin when it comes to rebasing?
Never, ever rebase public branches that others are working on.
Oh, okay.
That's like playing Jenga with your team's code base.
Yeah.
Right? You pull out the wrong block, the whole thing comes crashing down.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's shift gears and talk about a feature that might be under the radar for some.
Okay.
But it's seriously powerful. Git hooks.
Oh, yeah. Git hooks.
Okay. So think of these as your secret weapon for automating all sorts of cool things in your workflow.
I love Git hooks.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like these little scripts that run automatically when certain actions happen in your repository.
Yeah.
So for instance, you could have a hook that runs before every commit.
Okay.
And that hook automatically checks your code for style errors, potential bugs.
So before you even think about pushing that code, you've got this automated guardian angel.
I love that. Yeah.
Watching your back.
Yeah.
Making sure everything is in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
Now, how would somebody actually set up one of these magical hooks?
Okay, so let's say you want to set up that pre-commit hook to run a linter.
Okay.
You would navigate to your repositories.githooks directory.
Okay.
And create a file named pre-commit.
Okay, so we're getting a little technical here, but walk our listener through, like, what is that process?
You'd add the script that will execute your linter.
Okay.
You make that script executable.
Okay.
And then boom.
Yeah.
Every time you attempt to commit, it'll run.
So it's like having a personal code stylist.
Yes.
That tirelessly ensures every line of code is perfectly formatted and free of errors.
That's exactly right. And the beauty of Git hooks is the flexibility, right? You can use them for all sorts of automation.
Yeah.
Running tests, deploying code, sending notifications to your team. Even updating project documentation.
Wow.
Only limited by your imagination.
All right, so now let's be realistic here. Even with the most sophisticated branching strategies and a legion of automated helpers, merge conflicts are bound to happen.
They're gonna happen.
They're like that.
They're like that telemarketer, telemarketer that
calls you during dinner.
Yeah. They're unavoidable, right?
Okay. Yeah.
When you're working with Git.
Yeah.
But they don't have to be a nightmare.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
With the right approach, you can resolve these conflicts quickly, efficiently.
So walk our listener through, like, how do you tackle these conflicts like a seasoned pro?
Right.
What are the steps?
First, you need to identify the troublemakers.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The files that are causing the conflict.
Right.
And you can use the git status command for that.
Okay.
Then you open up those files and look for what are called conflict markers.
Okay.
And these are usually pretty easy to spot.
Okay.
They look like this. Lesson and vote.
Ah, yes.
The telltale signs.
The telltale signs.
The merge conflict showdown.
Merge conflict showdown.
Yeah. Okay.
So those markers show you where Git is having trouble.
Merging changes from different branches.
Okay.
And your job is to step in like a code diplomat, review the conflicting sections, and decide which changes to keep and which to discard.
So it's like being a judge in a coding court.
I like that, yeah.
Weighing the evidence and making a ruling on which version
That's a great analogy.
The code prevails.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
So once you've resolved the conflicts, you stage the files using Git add, and then you complete the merge with Git commit.
Now, what about those like really gnarly conflicts that make you want to pull your hair out?
Yeah.
Are there any tools that can help us mere mortals
absolutely
navigate these treacherous waters?
Visual tools can be lifesavers in those situations. Things like Git Kraken, or even, the built-in merge tool in VS Code can be super helpful. They give you the side-by-side view of the conflicting changes, so you can really see what's going on and make informed decisions.
So the takeaway here is merge conflicts are a part of life, but they don't have to be a source of fear and frustration.
No.
With a little practice and the right tools, you can master the art of conflict resolution.
You got it.
And keep your projects humming along smoothly.
Exactly.
So now let's talk about how Git integrates with those crucial CI/CD pipelines.
Oh, yeah.
This is where we take our code from commit to deployment in a smooth, automated flow.
Exactly. And as DevOps pros, like, this integration is the cornerstone of achieving that automation that we're all striving for.
Can you paint a picture for our listener of how this actually plays out in a real world scenario?
So let's say you're working on a Node.js application. You could use a platform like GitHub Actions to create these workflows that are triggered by events like a push to the repository or a pull request. And these workflows, they basically outline the steps that'll be executed automatically.
Yeah, so it's like automating the entire build.
Yeah, it's like a recipe
and deploy process
for your code.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Could you give us a more concrete example?
Sure. So imagine your workflow starts by checking out the latest code from the repository. Then it sets up your Node.js environment, installs all the dependencies, and runs your automated tests. If everything passes, it could even build a Docker image and deploy your application to a Kubernetes cluster. All without you lifting a finger.
That's incredible. So with just a bit of configuration, you've automated this entire process from code changes to deployment.
That's the power of CI/CD.
Yeah.
And by weaving Git into this process, you ensure that every change is thoroughly tested and deployed in this controlled,
reliable way.
This brings us to an important question. What are some best practices for using Git in a DevOps environment? What tips would you give to teams looking to level up their Git game?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
First and foremost, protect that main branch.
Like
it's the crown jewels.
Right.
This branch represents the stable, production-ready version of your code. Implementing branch protection rules in platforms like GitHub prevents direct commits. And enforces pull requests. So it ensures that only carefully vetted changes.
So it's like having that velvet rope around your most valuable code.
I love that analogy.
You're making sure that only the best gets in.
Exactly. Yeah. And speaking of quality control, make code reviews mandatory for every pull request. This helps catch those sneaky errors, maintain code quality, and ensure consistency across the project.
So we're talking about collaboration.
But we're also talking about building quality into the project.
Absolutely. From the ground up.
From the ground up.
Yeah.
I've heard some horror stories about cryptic commit messages.
You don't want those.
Is there a better way?
Absolutely. Writing clear and meaningful commit messages is crucial. Each message should clearly describe the changes that were made and the reasons behind them. Think of it as writing a mini changelog entry for each commit.
So you're leaving breadcrumbs for others to follow.
I like that,
So they don't get lost in the forest.
Exactly. Yeah. And finally, don't skim on documentation. Clearly document your Git workflows, your branching strategies. Think of it as an instruction manual for your team's Git process. It ensures everyone's on the same page. It makes onboarding new team members a breeze. And reduces those chances of confusion and errors down the line.
So we've covered branching strategies, automation, CI/CD, and best practices.
A lot of ground covered.
What's next in our Git deep dive?
It's amazing how much ground we've covered today.
I know, right? It's real.
From branching strategies and automation to CI/CD and best practices.
Yeah. We've really explored some powerful techniques here.
It's like we've given our listener a toolbox filled with all the essential tools for mastering Git in a DevOps environment.
But I have a feeling like this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right? Yeah.
Like what other exciting possibilities
so much
does Git offer beyond what we've discussed today?
Well, what's so fascinating about Git is that it's not just a version control system.
Right.
It's this powerful engine for collaboration and automation that can be applied in so many different ways. Right. Think about managing your infrastructure as code. For example, tools like Terraform and Ansible, they use Git to track changes to your infrastructure configurations.
So instead of manually configuring servers and networks, you're
treat it like code.
Treating your infrastructure like code, storing it in Git repositories, and managing it with the same rigor and discipline as your application code.
Exactly. And that's just one example, right? Git is also at the heart of the open source movement, allowing developers from all over the world to collaborate on projects of all sizes. Platforms like GitHub have made it easier than ever to contribute to open source projects. Fork repositories, submit pull requests, participate in the global community of developers.
So Git is not just a tool for individual developers or even teams, but a platform for global collaboration.
Yeah, it's become this amazing platform for collaboration.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and as you continue to explore the world of Git, I encourage you to keep experimenting, pushing the boundaries, discovering new ways to leverage its power.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll even create the next killer Git feature or workflow that revolutionizes the way we develop and deploy software.
That's a fantastic challenge.
Yeah.
Now, for our listener who's ready to take their Git skills to the next level, like what resources would you recommend?
Oh, that's a great question.
They explore.
The great thing about Git is that there's a wealth of resources available online, from the official Git documentation to countless tutorials, blog posts, online courses. Platforms like GitHub and GitLab offer comprehensive learning resources, and there are active communities on forums and social media where you can connect with other Git enthusiasts
and get help with any challenges you encounter.
And don't forget about the power of practice.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
The best way to truly master Git is to use it regularly.
Totally.
Experiment with different commands and workflows and gradually build your confidence in your expertise.
It's all about getting your hands dirty.
Right.
And just trying things out.
Yeah, and remember, everyone starts somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Even the most experienced Git gurus were once beginners.
We were all there once.
Fumbling their way through the command line, wondering what all those cryptic messages meant.
That's how you learn.
It's all part of the journey.
Yeah.
Right? And as you become more comfortable with Git, you'll start to appreciate its elegance.
It really is an elegant tool.
Its power, its ability to transform the way you develop and deploy software.
Well said. It's been a pleasure diving deep into the world of Git with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope our listener has gained some valuable insights and is inspired to continue exploring all that Git has to offer.
And to our listener, we encourage you to keep learning.
Yeah.
Keep experimenting and keep pushing the boundaries.
Keep pushing.
Of what's possible with this incredible tool.
That's what it's all about.
Until next time, happy coding.